Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Okay, so this one is gonna be pretty surprising. I got a cup of tea right here and we're gonna go all in. So for any of you guys who live here in New York City, Brooklyn specifically, do you know about the Brooklyn Tower? Well, obviously, if you live in New York City, especially in Brooklyn, you probably do know about the Brooklyn Tower. But if you don't, make sure you go and Google it because you're definitely going to want to sit and hear this one. So in Brooklyn, there is the Brooklyn Tower. It has sparked a lot of controversy due to the fact that two things. One, a lot of locals feels like it takes away from the beauty of Brooklyn, and two, the structure and architecture of the building itself highly resembles that of the Sauron building in Lord of the Rings. For my, my Lord of the Rings fans out there. Hi, don't judge me, I'm not a nerd. But anyway, okay, so if you don't know what the New York Housing Lottery is, it pretty much is this lottery application where New York City residents can put in for it in hopes of being selected for new buildings, or maybe not new buildings, but pretty much like rental units around New York City at a much more lower market rate than what it usually would go for. So in this case, one magical day when I was on the website, decided to apply for it. I honestly did not think I was gonna get selected, but your girl did. Little giggles, don't mind me. So your girl did. I got accepted to it. I got the email. I'll post a picture of the email above. Obviously, some info redacted and stuff, but pretty much I'm like, okay, so I did my due diligence. I played my little Nancy Drew. We got on Google, we did some research, and trust me, there were definitely a lot of mixed reviews on Google. And I'll put some of them right here below. Some people were saying that like the amenities still were not done. Others were saying that like, the elevators, there's only like one working. Others were saying that the building structure overall just looks hideous. And others were saying that the rent prices are astronomical for what the square footage of a lot of the apartments are offering. So before I went ahead and responded to the housing lottery email, I figure, you know what, let me go and schedule a tour and see what, the rave or the not so raves are about. So we went in there. Here are a couple of pictures, as you guys can see. From the outside, structurally, overall, I think the building looks amazing. I could just be saying that because I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. So, the building is definitely giving like the Eye of Sauron. It's so funny. But overall, I think it looks pretty cool. It's so different and stuff. And again, that's just me. Feel free to disagree. But now I go into the building. The lobby is pretty nice. There's two doormen there. They'll greet you. Honestly, when I went, there was still some scaffolding around the main level of the building. There was some construction going on and stuff. So it was a little hard for me initially to find the entrance, but eventually I did. So I ended up with the tour guide. She took me to a couple of units, a mixture of studios and one bedrooms on different floors. We probably toured like somewhere between like 4 to 6 different units, all varying in different square footage as well. So anywhere between like 5 to 700 feet square footage. Now, here is what I honestly think. Here are my honest opinion. While the views overall, as you can see in the pictures, the apartment units, the views are amazing. They have floor to ceiling windows. You get a beautiful view of the city. You can see the bridge, you can see Manhattan, you can see the water, you can see the Statue of Liberty. Like, it is amazing. Definitely a view that like somebody would want to wake up to every morning. Gorgeous overall, 10 out of 10. But then when we jump into the actual layout of a lot of the apartments, I found it to be a little weird and quite disappointing, to be honest. So when you go into some of the apartments, the kitchen is literally right there, like either like in the hallway, and it's just like in a long line. There isn't really like an island or anything, so it's like the entrance of the apartment literally will lead to the kitchen and then the space itself. So that was for like a 1 bedroom. Then walking into another 1 bedroom, the living room space was very small, pretty much non-existent. It was so tiny, and like I literally had to sit there and be like, where am I gonna fit like a TV in this place? You know? And then there was another unit where pretty much as soon as you walk in, as soon as you walk into the unit, it's just kind of like in a weird, like a weird angle in like the living room space. Granted, it was a little bit bigger, but again, like the layout of it was just very strange. Now, here's another crazy thing. I'm gonna try and jump into some facts with you guys here. Okay, so for starters, when I was accepted as a lottery winner for the Brooklyn Tower, aka the Sauron building, they said that only studios are available. Now, mind you, I only put in for 1 or 2 bedrooms, and they said that they were all full and there is a waiting list for it, and only studios are available. So definitely right there, number one, I knew it was pretty much gonna be out for me. Then number two, they said that the studio layouts vary. Then they gave me 4 different studio apartments that were available, and they range anywhere between 407 to 543 square feet. Imagine how tiny that is. That is extremely small. My current apartment is not even that small. 407 to 543, extremely incredibly small. Like, that is cramped. That is truly the definition of a closet in New York City, you guys. Okay, so then moving along from there, you are required to upload a lot of documents for the housing lottery group to review. So it's going to be a mixture of pay stubs, tax returns, W-2s, employment verification letters, ID, copy of current lease agreement, and a whole bunch of other things as well. Trust me, the paperwork requirements are usually very very complex when it comes to applying for any of these housing lottery units. Also, on top of that, I would say throughout the duration of my life, I've actually never lived in any of the housing lottery homes that I was selected for, and not because I didn't want to, but just poor timing or like bad timing. So either I was already in the middle of a lease, and like if I were to break it, it would be a big problem, or I would go and tour it or do reviews about it and it's not, you know, what it's cracked up to be. Because it's one thing to see something online, but then when you go and see it in person, it's completely different, right? So there's that as well. Also, so for the Sauron building, guys, a little bit of a backstory. It is somewhere between 70 and 90 feet, like story wise. That's number one. Number two, it was built in 2023. The reviews where they said that the amenities were not ready is indeed correct. There were no amenities that were available or up and running. So I do currently feel for the residents who do live there, who are paying these astronomical prices, and there are no amenities to even use. Number three, the building is only occupied by 20%. That was definitely a huge red flag to me when the person who was giving me the tour had pointed that out, because in my mind I'm like, okay, if this was built in 2023 and it's now 2025 and it's only occupied by 20%, that is not a good sign at all. It can only mean, you know, a couple of things here. One, obviously unaffordable. Two, there are problems going on within the building, aka management may not be as responsive, amenities obviously are not available. So that's that. And then three, there's something going on with management there. Now, I was told specifically that there was a change in management from one company to the next, so that's why a lot of the amenities are currently not available, but they will be up and running in June of this year. I don't know if that's true or not, because I saw some reviews from last year where they were saying that, like, hey, amenities are still not up and running and stuff. So could have just been saying that to cover something else up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump over to the prices. Now guys, if you are looking to live in this building and you are not going via the housing lottery application, I have the costs of some of these units for you, and prepare to have your mind blown, literally. Okay, so for a 1 bedroom, and also, by the way, one of the perks that they say when you move in is that you get 2.5 months free on an 18-month lease. The building runs on an 18-month lease. I know most apartment units in New York City runs on 12 months lease. Some run on 14 months, like the one I currently live in. And then 18 months, that is completely new. I've never heard of that. So it's like they're getting longer with different buildings. So a 1 bedroom, gross $5,100, but on a 2.5 months free on an 18-month lease will net to $4,392. Now that is for that one. That is if you're on the 21st floor. Now keep this in mind as well, guys. The higher up in the building you go, the more the cost is going to be, right? Now, let's say you get a 1 bedroom on the 29th floor. Now, they gave me the actual apartment unit, so maybe I should just throw that in there. Okay, if you are on the 21st floor for apartment 21F, the cost I just said, gross $5,100, net $4,392. That's what you're going to be looking at. Now, if you are on the 29th floor in a 1 bedroom, 29C, the gross $5,440, but the net on a 2.5 months free on the 18-month lease, $4,684. Whew. I can't. You guys, I can't. These prices are crazy. They're insane. All right, I got two more for you guys. Let's keep going. Okay, a studio on the 15th floor in unit 15B nets at $4,850. Oh, correction, gross $4,850, but the net is $4,176. Now, you guys, keep in mind, remember, like I said, the studio apartments are not big at all. They are anywhere between 400 to like 580 feet. That is very cramped, very small, barely any room for you to really fit like actual size furniture in. Maybe a twin sized bed, maybe a 20-inch flat screen. What did I say, a 20-inch flat screen TV? Yeah, maybe that. A tiny dresser, like that's the most you're really going to be able to fit in there. All right, and then the last one. Now, if you are on the 41st floor in unit 41B for a studio The gross is $4,680, but the 2.5 months free on an 18-month lease will yield $4,030. That is the cheapest one out of the four that I was shown. Now, mind you guys, these are the only four that I was sent because the other two were just ridiculous. Like, I was not even interested. I'm like, don't even bother me like sending me the info for those because they are ridiculous. If those two are ridiculous, if you think these are ridiculous, yeah, you get the gist. But pretty much, also, if you have any pets, any fur babies or anything, guys, that is $300 per pet, which is kind of insane because usually a lot of pet fees that I've come across are either 50 bucks or 100 bucks. So $300 is kind of, yeah, that's pretty diabolical. Utilities, residents are paying for electricity, cable, and internet. Water, sewer, and gas is included in the rent. Okay, you guys, so honestly, just let me know what you think of this. I will also drop pictures or links below if you want to look further into it. Honestly, overall for me, I'm so glad that I decided to go on this tour before responding to the housing lottery email. That way I was very well informed of what I would be signing up for, because I feel like a lot of people, they might just get caught up in the excitement of finally being selected for one of these housing lottery units or buildings, and then it's like they'll get there and it'll be something else completely different. So you guys, if you are looking to be a housing lottery winner, or you are currently a housing lottery winner, just make sure that you really do your due diligence on what you are getting yourself into, because honestly also in my opinion, I feel like a lot of these apartment buildings are they're all, for starters, like New York City has this thing going on where everything is now almost being labeled as like a luxury apartment building, in order for the builders and the management company to bypass a lot of rules and policies as to like what can be built and put into these buildings and stuff, even though like the amenities or the building itself is not what you would really consider luxury, and the prices will be just as crazy. Anyway, I have said a mouthful. Let me know what you all think in the comment section below, and until next time.